Hey guys, welcome again, and this time I'm just gonna talk about Phantasy Star Online 2 for real this time. Always has been probably. You will realize that I actually posted a lot of Phantasy Star Online 2 footage, and back then I don't really have a microphone at all, so the recordings were just like that. But well, now that the game is released on Steam for all regions, as you can see in this picture here I showed you, basically everybody who is like, outside of Japan or China or South Korea, every country can play together on the same servers in PSO2, regardless of where you are. There is no segregation at all. Everybody can play together. Everybody can just join the same ship and everybody can meet each other, regardless of where your position is on the map of the world. It's actually much better than Genshin Impact's, server, different server places, because that means you cannot really play with your overseas friends, and unfortunately, you only can play with people who probably stay in the same region as you instead. But in PSO2, everybody is here, just like how the Smash Ultimate the title say, no copyright though. Yeah. So guys, just jump into this game and enjoy it. It's really a great game. But let's just say that you can actually use Meseta to buy all the fashion items in the player shop, and it's actually based on the supply and demand. So you can actually play the market to get better prices for you to sell or get lower prices for you to buy. You literally can farm in-game currency to buy every fashion item there is. Monster, you can be a human, you can be an elf, you can be a demon, you can be a furry thingy, you can be a fish, you can be an attack helicopter or tanks or mecha or literal Gundam, I guess. Yeah, a lot of people say like this is a very weeb game or anime game. I can see where you're at, but to be honest, if you make your character looks like a Westerner or looks like they are not Japanese, it's possible. And of course, you can always cover your face up with a mask and everything, and you can literally look like any other game character as well. Or you can just make your own OC. I think this game is one of the best places for you to create your original OC character, and or just translate your favorite characters from other games or other mediums of entertainment into this game is probably the best cosplaying MMORPG I ever seen. Same thing goes to the community. The community of this game is one of the best community feeling MMOs I've played so far. Like, I know there are other MMOs that have larger populations with larger player bases, but the the it's because of the fashion sense and the fashion end game and all this lobby AFK that is basically going to make everybody just admire everybody's fashion items and how they dress up their characters. Of course, there are some people who literally do a meme out of it, like dressing some like some troll or annoying kind of a character that covers your whole screen. But for the most part, they are just trying to make their waifu look the best they could. And yeah, unfortunately the guy's costume is not exactly as good as the female ones. But if you wait for a longer while, I guess the more costumes that was released, the more suitable costumes will be found in the player shop. So eventually you going to take all these fashion items and just bring them into New Genesis, which is the new version of the PSO2 game, which is going to be block transferable despite being another whole new game. And that game, well, is a bit more easier and a bit more simpler and a bit more streamlined than PSO2. A lot of people actually decided to wait for New Genesis to come out instead of PSO2 because they realized only the fashion and certain items can carry over. But to be honest, the fashion items themselves are just way too worth it to hoard now instead of waiting for a game to release like next year or I don't really know when they're going to release it, and from the looks of it, it looks very very early stage still. And of course PSO2 is going to be getting a graphics engine overhaul, which actually would going to make the game to comparable to New Genesis. Like holy crap, man! Basically the basically the path of this game, the roadmap of this game is actually looking pretty good for such an old game from 2012. It's actually, giving out everything to the player now in like such a quick pace that I haven't seen any other MMORPGs did the same thing as well, except for maybe the mobile games. But yeah, basically you are being tossed 8 years worth of content in your face in just several months. Basically the game is not even 1 years old, but the content is already like 8 years long. It's basically that kind of amount of content is being poured into the game now. So yeah, albeit there's some flaws like the censorship. I think the censorship is done because of Sony platform that they're going to release on in the future. But that's just my take on it. It's you can take it as a grain of salt, I guess, because it's not confirmed for me. And I think censorship can be removed in the future when a lot of players actually, vote for it. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of MMOs or mobile games actually remove the censorship because the player wants them to. So I think in the future we're definitely able to remove those censorship. And eventually we might get all the content just like how JP does. So yeah, the population in PSO2 Steam is definitely much, much higher than that of PSO2 JP. And of course, there's also the English and Japanese language option as well in the Steam version as well, which actually means that you have the English text, albeit not exactly as easily understandable like the fan dubs version, but it's actually pretty decent, especially if you want to understand the context of a certain story mode and you don't really have to use another third-party app to, translate the game. But, other than that, I just think this game is way worth the free-to-play cost. It's actually, it has much more content, to be honest, than, something like Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact for me is still a gacha game and still a single player exploration game. It's something that you just play like for fun or when you have a free time or you just want to enjoy some slow paced kind of a gameplay. But PSO2 is my main grind because it's still Genshin Impact cannot deter me from PSO2 because PSO2's gameplay is much better despite being so old, and the complexity and the skill that you require to, do a lot of those action stuff is just way above than a lot of MMORPGs or MMOs, to be honest. You know, except for certain action games that, make their action too flashy, but you can actually execute them very easily. Things like that. But I think PSO2 still have superior action combat, to be honest. And I can wait for what New Genesis will bring to the table with a better foundation. And Sega is now funded by Microsoft, so they wouldn't go bankrupt suddenly because if Microsoft bankrupt, that will be like the end of the PC master race, to be honest, because Microsoft literally owns the whole Windows platform, to be honest. So yeah, I wouldn't expect Microsoft to go bankrupt before Sony or Nintendo does, but yeah, I think Microsoft is actually doing a great service for us to just bring this game over to the North America and then translate it and then bring it out to the global audience. I think that is the most important thing ever. I mean, it's still better than never, you know, despite being so late to release it to all regions. But, you know, I hope everybody actually will take note of this upcoming anime MMO game, I guess, MMO action RPG game. I think it deserves more spotlight because of how much freedom it gives to the player in terms of the fashion, design, fashion costumes, accessories, and literally symbol arts, which to be honest is just like a shapes you can form into anything. Even some memes or reference to real life or even realistic pictures of cats. Yeah, uh, why do people still not notice this game anyway? It's like they are now on all platforms except for the Switch and PS4. Like, just just play it, dude. Okay, just play PSO2. Alright, it really deserves the attention that it's actually putting out. And yeah, at the moment, the global community who is actually managing the English side of things is still very small. I guess that's why it's actually hard to communicate with them because imagine being a global server in just several months. Yeah, give them time. I think the game will become much, much, much better in the future. Of course, it's actually a live service, right? A live service that done right, basically. Yes, by the way, if you think the game's player shop cost is a bit too high, and you gotta understand that you can earn about around 6 to 8 million Meseta a week, every week I suppose. It resets at Wednesday. Um, yeah, so you know, try to do those weekly orders or daily orders. It will stack up your money very very quickly, and you can use those money to spend on fashion or whatsoever. And yeah, weapons, units, everything you can also purchase from the player store. You know, everything. It's actually a much better barter system, to be honest, or a much better system than like Warframe or any other grinding game that I heard. It's actually much more straightforward. There are bots here and there, but the GMs are trying their best to setting up ways to remove them or purge them. But the fact that the bots are just keep coming back means that the game is just successful, right? The game is pretty much successful. So yeah, just play the game, alright? And enjoy your stay because this game also allows people, it actually respects your time as well. As a player, you can play it as a very very busy person. You can just do dailies and log off. You can just do weeklies and log off. Yeah, it wouldn't cost you a dime to play as well. If you know how to manage your inventory, it's not a problem. You don't really need to buy the premium items. The cash shop items are not necessary because the game gives you so much free items that are similar anyways, like boosters and all those passes or half dolls. You don't really need to buy stuff from the cash shop, to be honest. It's one of those very very generous free to play games, unlike a lot of those free to play games that gate their cash shop items. This one, oh boy, you can sell your cash shop item, bro. A lot of people might say, hey, isn't that pay to win because you can sell your fashion items by just buying those gacha tickets and just getting those fashion items and sell them on player store. At the same time, that the players are able to get those for free, so they win. The whales get the money, so they win. The the game company earns the money from the whales paying for those gacha tickets, so they win. Everybody is happy. What is the problem here? I cannot see the problem. A lot of people say that no matter how much meseta you get in the game, if you don't know how to do affixing, you don't know how to do the min-maxing things, you wouldn't be a good player anyways. And the game is very very skill based, so yeah, you cannot just pay your money out of the way to just do everything, especially like, I mean, sure, you can probably buy a revive if you suddenly ran out of half dolls to use, but who would actually buy that when people can just revive you with an item that you can buy with Meseta? It's just ridiculous. Unless it's a solo mission, then I don't know about that, huh? So yeah, just enjoy PSO2, bro. It's such a good game. There's a lot of girls who actually would enjoy this game as well because look at the fashion. Look at the fashion, girl. Those are such amazing pieces. Alright. I'm joking. I mean, yeah, guys and girls should enjoy the game. It's the best inclusive game there is at the moment, to be honest. Yeah, enjoy PSO2 well and find a alliance that you can rely on, and you just enjoy the game with your friends. And I'm gonna end this video and just proceed to continue to grind this game. So yeah, goodbye.